And leaving so free dancing. Can't stop the feeling in my body. If you got a bronze and above and they're not on this one, this is one not to miss. I'm fired up. And when I get fired up, I say some pretty good things. Got this feeling. Ooh, okay. All right. We are turning that off and we are started. So, hello everybody. Hello everybody. Welcome to our bronze and above call. Maybe somebody could send Leah a message. I don't know why it's telling her that it's ended. She's on the right link. Can you guys hear me okay? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So here's the thing. So this is not a agent company call. We had 1,200 people on live on the company call. Did you guys have some good stuff from that? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a leadership call. So you're going to notice my tone be a little bit different, obviously, and my direction is going to be a little bit different here. You're like, wait a minute, bring back the huggy guy. A little bit different. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit as to why. So if you are in a place, please have your camera on. I want to be able to see you. I want to be able to know what's going on with you. I want to see if what I'm saying is either landing or reactionary, or if it's just, or if you're paying attention. Because quite frankly, if I was doing a presentation the other day and this one woman was like, this woman said she wasn't interested. And I was like, I know why she wasn't interested. She literally was doing 16 things while she was listening to the video. Now, there's nothing wrong with that for a prospect, but this isn't a prospect call. This is a bronze and above call. So it's a little bit different than our other calls because I actually expect you to be able to mute and unmute yourself properly. So your bronze is and above now. You should be able to do that. So if you are in a quiet place, what I want you to do is I want you to be unmuted so that way we can actually have this as a conversation like if we were live and in person. So that way, if I'm saying something, does that make sense? You can actually say yes, and I can hear you. Partially, I do this because I absolutely desperately miss live events. Like you have no idea how much I miss being in person with people. So now some of you guys right now, you have background noise going on right now. If you have background noise going on right now, get in a place where you don't have background noise and sit and take notes. This is not a passively listening call. This is a leadership call. You are not passive agents. You are leaders that we are looking to develop into the people that are going to build your business and build this company. So today I want to have a leadership conversation with you guys as best as I possibly can. And I don't think this is going to blow any of you out of the water. But I also want us to really mentally prepare for it. So as we're going out there and building, so can I have full permission to coach as best of my ability? Can I do that with you guys here today? Is that okay?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Yep. So if you are in a place where you don't have any background noise, go ahead and unmute yourself. So that way I can hear you guys' response and I can hear you guys in this. If you do have background noise, just be cognizant of this. It's something that we obviously should be able to be good at as we're getting through. So, and taking some notes on this. I'm going to kind of just spitfire and ramble a whole bunch of things. But eventually I'll get to the direction that we're going here on this. So as leaders, I know there are those of you that are brand new to this call, and I want to welcome you, congratulate you on everything you did. What I'm going to do is this, just so you guys know, I'm going to mute everybody. So that way, when people come into the call, if they're not aware of this, they can mute. If you can unmute now that I've muted everyone that's going to come in, that'd be great. I want to talk, so it's 2021. This is our first bronze and above call of 2021. And I don't know about you, but I am super, super, super excited about where we are and where we are going as an organization. But I'm going to tell you what we need right now more than anything is we need leadership. Leadership is going to be the name of the game in 2021. So currently right now, here's the challenge that I'm experiencing and the challenge that we're all going to experience as we continue to go through this amazing growth and momentum in 2021. We need more people that can do more and lead more groups of people, period. Like that is, so the question before is that, did we have enough people? Now we have so many people that what we're going to need is step up in leadership. And a step up in leadership is going to be identifying and understanding the different dynamics that are going to be happening inside of the group. So 2021 for many of us is kind of a refresh, a restart. 2020, for some, it was the most amazing year ever. For some, it was the crappiest year ever. So there's, for some, it was the most amazing and the crappiest simultaneously, because we all went through a whole lot of different things in that year. So, but as we're coming together and building out some of these systems and programs and new things that are happening in the world of Secret, I want to put together and kind of remind us a little bit about the organization that we're building and make sure that we're meeting people with where they are and plugging people into some of these specific systems. And I'm going to ask of you certain things as you're going to go out there and build your business. So first off is this. I'm going to pull this up and okay. And some of you guys have seen this, but I'm going to do the training in a little bit different capacity. So hopefully you guys can, some of you have seen this, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit differently today because this is a leadership call. Okay. So how many of you guys have seen one of these? Ooh, a big pyramid, right? Okay. So in this, this is called, kind of basically human need psychology when it comes to our business. Okay. And basically the pyramid of, you can write this down, the pyramid of motivation. Please take notes on this stuff. This is really important. Okay. Inside of this, motivatable. Okay. All right. 27% of the population are what we call unmotivatable. Couldn't motivate them even if you tried. So you could literally hand them the greatest opportunity in their life and they're going to be like, probably a scam. All right. They're just, doesn't matter what it is. They ain't doing it. 60% of the population are what we call motivatable. Okay. Motivatable. This is one of the largest groups of people inside of network marketing, motivatables. Now, what is motivatables? Motivatables are people that are usually up and down, hot and cold, yes and no. They're very motivated by their environment. Okay. So Warren Buffett talks about it in his book where he talks about how the difference between an inner scorecard and an outer scorecard. So an inner scorecard is meaning where most people kind of look within to take account on things and then make actions based on looking in, versus others that make an outer scorecard, which is they are looking at everything happening around them and make decisions a little bit more based off that. Okay. So motivatables, usually these are the people that start and stop. They're hot 1 minute, then they're not. They are usually this group of people, and all of us have probably been a motivator at some point in our life or at some point in our business. Would you guys agree with me on that?
Yes.
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 Okay. So then we've got 10 percenters. Now, 10 percenters are self-motivated. Okay. A lot of times you'll find these as your business owners. Okay. If you want it done right, do it right. So this is self-motivated people will typically work 80 hours a week for themselves, so they don't have to work 40 hours a week for someone else. They don't like being told what to do. They're usually a little bit against the grain. A lot of times you'll find these people that usually will get into business a lot of times more. All right. But self-motivated, these people do not need to be reminded of things consistently. They're self-motivated. And we're going to talk a little bit about what distinguishes these groups. The top 3% are what we call motivators. Now, for the example of how I learned this, I wrote this in my notes August of 2002 for the first time when a trainer from Stage was teaching me these concepts. So, and understanding the dynamics of the business. Now, they were talking about it in terms of prospects. And here's what they taught me, is they taught me when you go talk to people out of 100 people, 27 of 100 are going to be automatic no's. Mm-hmm. They're just going to be no, no, doesn't matter what it is. No. Okay. 60% of the people you talk to, 60 out of 100 are going to be kind of sort of wishy-washy. Maybe, I don't know. I'll see how you do first. Let me talk to this. Maybe I'll try it out. They're kind of 10%, 1 out of 10 people is probably going to be like, motivated. Now, doesn't mean they're going to be a yes for this, but they're going to be clear and concise about what they want. Okay. And then about 3 out of 100 people that you talk to are going to be influencers, motivators. Now, I think motivators is the wrong word for what I'm about to describe to you. So I want you to cross it out and I want you to put the word mentor, or you can put the word coach. Okay. So, and I look at this kind of like, Mazafar. I think of Coach Mazafar. right? So, and when I look at a mentor coach, the reason why I'm saying mentor, because I don't think motivator is the right word, because I think sometimes people mistake that for cheerleader. Nothing wrong with a cheerleader, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Okay. The cheerleader is cheering whether you're winning or you're losing. The mentor, the coach is the person that's going to take you in the locker room. You're going to have a plan of action. They're going to be able to see what you're doing. They're going to make adjustments. They're going to tell you things you want to hear. They're going to tell you things that you don't want to hear. But most of the time, the mentor or the coach has been there, done that, got the t-shirt. They've been through what you're experiencing, and you're really going to them for having passed through those tests, right? So now all of you guys have been mentors in this case in the course of your life, where how many of you guys have ever gone through a challenge in your life? You've learned a lesson, and somebody that was going through that experience, and it could be business, could be personal, could be family, could be marriage, could be health. They came to you and you were able to kind of mentor them through that experience because you'd gone through it. How many guys have done this? Show of hands, give me a yes, right? So you've all been in this category, but I want you to look at this bit a little differently. When I was taught this originally, I was taught this principle when it came to prospecting. I want you to think about it differently here today. I want you to think about this as your team. Okay. So I want you to think about this as we're all going to go out there and build a team. Your bronzes and above now, you're going to start developing a team. You're going to start developing a leadership. And in this business, every level is a different devil. No, there's a whole different level of lessons you're going to learn, whole different level of challenges you're going to experience. And guess what? They don't get easier. I want you to know they get harder. Every challenge. Now people say, really? I say, yeah, of course. Right. So if you're going to go up, you're going to have to grow up, as we say in the business. So what that means is that I want you to think about your team. Okay. In terms of this capacity now. Now, some of you guys don't have a team that is this large or this size yet, and that's okay, but you're going to. And so these are things that you may go, wow, this doesn't necessarily apply to me right now, but promise you, if you know this, you're going to be able to get to the bigger teams faster because you'll keep more people and help more people along the way. So what does this mean? Okay. So if this is your team, okay, I want you to think about it is what is the majority of people on your team are going to be in what category? Motivatables, right? So the majority of your team is going to be motivatables, right? Now I want to talk to you about this group and this group for a very good reason, okay? And the reason why I'd say, well, what percentage of your team, if this was your team, is going to be motivatables? You'd say 60%, right? It's actually more than that. And here's the reason why. This group of people never joins your team. Okay. So what does that mean? That means what's left is 60% of the 73% that's left, which means it's approximately 90% of your team that joins is going to be what? Motivatables. Okay. About 90% of your team. So for this sake of the argument, what I'm going to say is I'm going to talk about it as 90-10. Now, what is this top 3%, which we always want to get to? This is kind of the pinnacle. This is why some people make a little bit of money and why some people make an absolute fortune in network marketing. And it's not that they're not they both work really hard. Self-motivated people work hard. They work really hard. But a lot of times what they do is they burn themselves out in network marketing. And I'm going to talk about why today. This is crucial. If you get this 2021, we need this. I'm going to go back into working with you guys here on these calls into deep dive leadership training for you guys of building large organizations, of what it's like to grow them and lose them. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I know I've lost larger groups than most of you have ever built. So I want to teach you some of the painful lessons that I've learned of what not to do. Now, some of you, you're going to have to go through it anyway, because there's no leader I've ever met that's made it to the top that hasn't lost at least a leg along the way. But for sake of this conversation, I'm going to talk about your team as 90%ers that are motivatables and 10%ers that are self-motivated. Now, in that, you're going to really have about 1% of the people that are going to be in this category over here. I'm not going to talk so much about them because it's going to be pretty obvious, okay, when we get to there. So motivatables, okay, when it comes to this 90% of the group, these people, okay, right, it's very important to get them plugged into a system, okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about why here in a minute. I mean, I think it's obvious for most of us as to why. right? And the reason why is they need structure, okay? And they need, okay? So a plan that is given. They need a plan that is given to them. Most of the people that are in this that are motivatable, generally speaking, most of them are grown up through as employment mentality. Now, there's nothing wrong with employment mentality. It's what most of us are all taught. Go to school, get good grades, go out and get a good job. And at that job, most places you're not rewarded for creativity and thinking outside the box. You're rewarded for doing your job. And your job is a list of things that's given to you. Do these things and do them well, or else you get fired. Right? So do these things, do them well, or else you get fired. Now, there are some jobs, of course, that creativity is included in, but not the majority of them, as you guys know. So majority of the time, the job description is put for you and you do those things. So they need a plan, okay? All right? So they need a plan of action. However, with motivatables, the most important thing is I never focus on results. I only focus on activities, okay? So I'm going to focus heavily on activities. The reason why is for most motivatables, results are too scary. Okay. So what I need to build up with motivatables is confidence. Confidence is one of my number one targets for motivatables, which is my 90% of my team. 90% of my team is going to fall into this category. Why are they stopping and starting and stopping and starting? Well, you got to remember when they're around you, they want to do secret. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? When they're around you, they're pumped. But then when they're not around you, they're not pumped. Why? Because who they're around motivates how they're being. They're motivatable. They don't, so the difference between, right, a thermometer and a thermometer is going to tell you what the temperature is where it goes. The thermostat you can set and it will change the temperature of the room. Okay. So most of these people are massively influenced by outside forces. So when they're around you, they're pumped about secret. When they're not around you, they're not pumped about secret. Now, let me ask you a question. Are they around self-motivated people more of the 24 hours a day, or people that are not motivated by secret 24 hours a day?
Not motivated.
Yeah, more that are not, right? If they go to work 40 hours a week and none of those people are in secret, immediately you have to know that the majority of their time they're around people who don't believe in what they're doing. A lot of times they go home to a spouse who doesn't believe what they're doing. They have kids that don't believe in what they're doing. They have friends that told them they're stupid for doing this, right? So what we have is people's deepest fear is that they're not enough. It's their deepest fear. And if they're not enough, they won't be loved. That's humans' deepest fear. That's all it's you. And you're like, that's not my fear. It's your fear too. I'm just letting you know. All right. So, and then people say, people do, and then high achievers, all right, you don't call it fear. You call it stress, just so you know. Oh, I'm stressed right now. I'm a little stressed. No, you're afraid. No, I'm just stressed. Well, what if you don't get it done? Well, if I don't get it done, then this will happen, then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And then, right? So if you follow your stress, it'll lead you to your fear. So, but when it comes to confidence, this is why this group of people, I focus on activities and I focus on personal development. Okay. I believe that everybody can be successful in network marketing, not the person that joins, the person that they can choose to become. Most people's biggest fear is that they can't do the business and they can't be successful. Guess what? You're right for most people. Doesn't mean that you can't become the person that can be successful in the business. The Jesse Macpherson who signed up as a 19-year-old kid in May of 2002 would never have been successful unless he chose to grow. Now, I was so fortunate to get into a company that really focused on a growth environment of what I was reading. So while I was developing the skills to be successful, I was building confidence in certain of myself. So what I need to do is these people, I need to raise their self-esteem. How do you raise somebody's self-esteem? Is you need to have them gain confidence in themselves. How do you get someone to gain confidence in themselves? Confidence is developed by successful attempts. Right, this is in your notes. Confidence is developed by successful attempts, which means they must be willing to attempt. And in willingness to attempt means willingness to fail. a willingness to fail. Oh God, you know how much these people just willingness to fail. Oh, I have to create an environment in my business and in my team where people feel safe to fail. For this group of people, I'm talking about this group. I'm talking about your 90%ers, your motivatables. Okay. So confidence, personal development. This is why constantly what I'm asking people is, what are you reading? What are you listening to? If these people do not grow, eventually what I found is they will find themselves usually moving out of the business. And here's what's crazy. The majority of motivatables actually move out of the business, not because of anything other than their uplines. It's not the company, it's their uplines. And I'm going to talk about why, right? So self-motivated, let's talk to you guys. And when I mean talk to you guys, that's most of you here on this call. So, right. And the reason I know that is most people wouldn't have got to bronze. Now, some of you might have got to bronze and you're still motivatable in a little ways. And right now, this call is almost feeling like a little too much for you, honestly, at this point. You're like, whoa, whoa. Okay. So now it's totally okay. What I want to see you guys do is moving from motivatables to self-motivated. Self-motivated people, it's most of you are on the line here, is this. You usually have a higher sense of self. So your self-esteem is usually higher. So what happens is this, is in this, I'll write this down. I focus on results. Okay. Focus on rank. Big thing I focus on is recognition. Okay. Recognition. Self-motivated people are usually very competitive. Okay. Competition driven, competition oriented. Many of you in this are self-motivated. The reason why I know you're self-motivated is because you say things like this. I have all these people on my team and they're not doing anything. You know how many times I hear that? Literally every single day from a self-motivated person, every single day. So, okay. Now I want to talk about this. This is really important. Self-motivated people, right? Usually what happens is I see self-motivated people literally drive their motivatables out of the business every single day. And the reason why is this. Self-motivated people, 60%ers, motivatables, drive you absolutely mad. They drive you stark craving mad. And I know, because they drive me nuts too, right? They're like, I told them about the call. I have to remind them to be on the call. They knew about the agent call. They got a call. They got a text. Like I have 6 children. I have children of my own. I don't need 15 more children. Like I got to remind them to do this every single time. And the answer is what? Yes. So another good example is this. You're self-motivated, right? So you're a 10%er. You recruit somebody into the business. Odds are they're going to be what? A motivatable. They're going to be a 90%er. And then what they do is they try to turn this person into a self-motivated person right away. So they try to do it. They're like, no, you, and all of a sudden they do a presentation for this person and this person signs up 2 people, right? And they sign up 2 people that statistically are going to be a motivatable, right? And then all of a sudden they get mad at this person for not being self-motivated enough to go work with these people. And they're like, why isn't this person, why isn't John doing what he should be for Tammy and Mark? Why? He should be doing this. And then we get mad at the 90%er. All right. So, and we get frustrated. Now, here's what happens. Some of you, it's not your frustration, it's your belief in them that drives them out of the business. And here's what I mean by that. If somebody has a confidence issue in the business or in themselves, remember, people's deepest fear is that they're not enough. And if they're not enough, they won't be loved, right? If their deepest fear is they're not enough and they're struggling with that every single day, as we all do. If your upline is self-motivated and your upline, because of their belief in you, they go, I just don't get it. Why aren't you doing this? I know you can do this. But your belief in them, because you're seeing them where you want them to be, not where they see themselves. And that push, that pressure that a lot of times comes will actually drive these people out of the business because they go, I'm not living up to the expectation of my sponsor or my upline. And then they go, I just can't do it. And then they get what they call overwhelmed. And all overwhelmed, they're like, I can't be like you. When you start hearing stuff like that, warning signs, red whistles, right? You should be like, do not pass go, do not collect $200, right? So you should be thinking about this going, oh crap, I have seriously messed up. Because if people in your business are constantly saying, I can't be like you, oh, then that's this group of people saying, I can't do what you do. I don't believe it's possible for me to get to the level of success, right? So what does this mean? How do we do this? Okay. The reason why these top 3%ers make so much money inside of network marketing, self-motivated people, eventually what happens a lot of times is they get frustrated with this group of people. And then they say things like this: that's it. I'm not working with uncommitted people anymore. I'm only looking for committed. And you are game over done. Because the majority of the population is always going to be what? Motivatable. The majority of the people who always join your business are going to be what? Motivatable. The 3%ers that make a fortune in network marketing, they've learned how to work with the motivatables, learned how to help them, support them, guide them, keep them in the system long enough for them to win, because I want them to be a part of a group of people and a system and where they have a long enough runway to be successful, where they can work on themselves, where they can gain confidence, where they can fail and feel okay, right? So I don't want somebody to stay in a motivatable, but I know that if I treat my motivatables like self-motivated people, they quit. Now, if I treat my self-motivated people like motivatables, they will hate you. I found this out as well, okay? These are different groups of people in your business, okay? So I want you to be thinking about, as you're going through this, is who's in my business and how can I work with and respond to them appropriately, okay? Now, inside of your team, I want you guys to understand your best customers will be non-producing agents. This is important. Statistically, 7 out of 10 people who join network marketing will never sell or recruit a soul. That's the numbers. You can get mad at me if you want. It is what it is. And people say, well, it should change that. No, you're not going to. I'm just letting you know. After 100 years of research in network marketing, do you know how much I'm talking millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars that have been spent by the people that made absolute fortunes in network marketing. I'm talking billions of dollars spent on trying to change that number. What you're trying to do is you're trying to change human behavior, and you're not going to do it. Now, some of you guys are like, I'm going to do it. All right, good luck with that. And then when it doesn't work, we'll come back to this conversation. Okay. So this is it. Instead of fighting this, I need to support it. Meaning so good example is this. If I'm going to have a training, okay, right? I know that there was let's just say there was 1,000 people on the Zoom call that we just did, right? There's 1,000 people on the Zoom call. What percentage of those people are falling in this category? 90% of them. 900 of those people on that call are still scared whether or not it's going to work for them, are still having second thoughts and second guessing, right? And all those different things. 100 of them, right? So now in this case, probably 100, and then there's 3 or 4, right? So are going to be these self-motivated people. They're fired up. These are the people that are like, I'm going diamond. These people are like, I don't even know if I can get a customer. These people up here, the self-motivated, they need a kick in the ass. The motivatables, they don't need a kick in the ass. They need a hug. Now, if you notice in my training calls, I spend the majority of the time, I know what call I'm on. So some of you guys, if we notice is you'll start paying attention to these things I spend about 90% of my time talking to these people on the call. When I'm closing the call, who am I talking to? You think I'm talking to self-motivated people? We don't even do weekly calls for self-motivated people. They're self-motivated, right? So what's funny is a lot of times the self-motivated people don't even get on the calls because they're like, what do I need a call for? I already know what to do. I'm going to go out there and do it, right? So the calls, why do we have the training? Why do we have the weekly presentations? Why do we have that? It's for the motivatable people to get back on to go, okay, I'm spending more time with people who believe what I believe, that are going to pour into me, that go, oh yeah, that's right. This is good. Oh yeah, that's right. I did make a good decision. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I got to read my book. They need to be reminded constantly all the freaking time. Now you can get mad at them and get frustrated by them, or you can just accept the fact that your future forever. Okay. I got a big team. Do you know what percentage of them are motivatable? 90%. Do you know what percentage of my team that don't do anything, quote unquote, don't do anything? Same as yours. It's just more. So what I want you guys in understanding this, is this helping? Does this make sense? Are you guys kind of getting this? All right, putting this together.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So
Yes.
now some of you guys, I know you've been slipping in, you were self-motivated and then you fell out and you've been flowing back and forth, and it's time. We right now, we need people to step up and understand some of these businesses and these concepts. Now, what is going to move somebody through these processes is, so you need to have, so a good example, I've had competitions, I've had programs. Okay. If I have a contest, I want to have a contest that motivatables can win. Why do we have an agent destination and a diamond destination? Hello, agent destination, diamond destination. Okay. You know, certain things that we do. Now, does that mean that every promotion is going to be for everybody? No, of course not. Does that mean that every call is for everybody? No, of course not. Okay. But I want you to look at where are some of the people maybe that you go, man, I could have led that person better if I would have understood this more. I could have supported them better. Okay. I don't want to push people out of the business. I want people to be a part of this, to where the spare time of the part-timer, I create an environment where they can grow into being self-motivated. Okay. Now, how we're going to do that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this before I want you to section this, and then we're going to move into the second section, but this is really important to understand before we go into part 2. Questions?
Jesse, there was a quote that you said, confidence is developed by, and I didn't catch the rest.
Successful attempts.
Okay.
So a good example, let's say I wanted to play basketball, right? So I want to play basketball and I'm no good at basketball and I want to successfully shoot free throws, right? So if I have the ball, what do I have to do in order to gain confidence is I have to shoot free throws. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Now, if I miss every single one, I'm not going to develop confidence in making free throws. Here's what happens. I shoot, 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 shoot. I make one. Ooh, little confidence. Confidence comes from successful attempts. I did something and it worked. I did something and it worked. Now, here's the challenge. Most people in the beginning, they're going to develop a ratio, because a lot of the people in the very beginning, you're not going to bat 1,000, so to speak. You're not going to shoot 1,000. So in the beginning, I need people to be okay with fail, 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 make one. Fail. So I want you to think about 90% of your organization like wounded children that are scared of everything they're doing. Now, if you're self-motivated, you're like, I don't understand why they don't just do it. Like I told them to make a list and call people. Like it is like, hello, you know? And for most of them, that is absolutely terrifying, because they don't want to mess up. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to let you down. They don't want to let the friends down, because remember, their environment is dictating a lot of their behavior. Okay. So successful attempts. How do you create successful attempts? It's going into the big one right now. Are you guys ready for this? And this one is more for you guys than anything else. Accountability. Okay. Now I want you guys to know. Okay. Bum. So Muzaffar was on here earlier, but then he had to hop off because he was actually, corporate called me and a few other people called me because they were dealing with some back office things that they're making sure is right for everyone to get their pay set up through this new partnership. So he loves you guys. And he said, could you make sure and take care of it and let everybody know that I love them, and congratulations on this new year. So I'm going to read you a quick section here from this book, but the big word that is going to change your business and change your world, and this is a huge part of the process, is, write this word down, accountability. Ooh, a word most people do not like. Okay, so accountability. So now, the choice of accountability. I want to talk to you guys about this. This is one of my favorite books. It's called Achievement by a guy named David Bird. Some of you guys have heard me read out of this. Some of you guys know this. For some of you guys that are new, and I really want us to touch on this because The choice of accountability is really what determines the difference between going to your next level growth. Okay. Now it's the new year. Most of us have, if you haven't already, written out some goals for the new year. Probably a good idea. But what I would be thinking about is where you want to go. So here's the questions when I started writing this down. What do you want? Why do you want it? Put this in your notes. What do you want? Why do you want it? And what's your massive action plan to get it? What do you want? Why do you want it? And what's your plan? If you don't know those three things and are not crystal clear, you have a dream. Dreams are a good place to start. I talked about this, but that is not actionable. If you want an actionable result, you need an actionable plan. I don't want you to be wish wanters or even goal setters. I want you to be goal achievers. Now, learning to set goals and achieve goals, setting goals is the beginning. But guess what? You're going to suck at setting goals because you're going to suck at putting together plans. Why? Because you suck at everything the first time you do it, right? Now, if you were really good at these things right out of the gate, it's because you learned the skills somewhere else. I want you to know this is you, like, there's nothing that is going to create success inside of your network marketing business that wasn't a skill you had to learn somewhere along the way. Now, some people picked up some of these skills earlier on in a different part of their life. Some of the skills that I learned, a good example. I was ahead of the game, so to speak, when I started network marketing at 19 than most people, because I had a couple of skills that were very valuable. One of them was teaching. In dance, everything you do is copying and then teaching it, literally copying it identically, putting something in your body and then teaching it to other people. I probably taught 10,000 dance classes in 15 countries around the world by the time I joined network marketing at 19, which seems crazy. But I was able to be able to learn something, assimilate it, and teach it immediately because it's what I did every day. The ability to be able to copy something and teach it and then get a group of people to do it in unison, that was a skill set that I had, right? Now, some of these skills are things that you're going to learn. Some of these things are skills you're going to have to get. But the choice of accountability, this is the big one. So I'm going to read this to you guys because this, if there is a single decision you make in 2021 for your growth, if you're looking to grow, okay? Now, if you're looking to maintain, by the way, there is no maintaining. You're either going up or you're going down, just so you guys know. I don't know if you guys figured that out. Effort just to maintain requires effort. Some people thought, I'm just trying to maintain. Well, that's going down. We already know. So, but I'm going to read this section, a little section to you here on managing the choice of accountability. All of us stand at the crossroads of thousands of daily choices, but one of the most effective choices you will ever make regarding achievement is the choice of accountability. The choice of accountability is the big third of the big three: attitude, action, accountability, life choices that form the foundation of achievement. Most people cringe when they hear the word accountability is used because it reminds us of a time when we had to do something that we did not want to do, or a time we had to report to someone we did not respect. But that is not in the context of this discussion of accountability. Accountability is a motivational force. From this point on, I want you to think of accountability as a motivational force that will push you beyond your self-imposed limitations. And that is a very good thing. Achievement is about moving to the next level of life, about doing things you never dreamed of. To achieve, you must change, and change is adverse to our basic human instincts. That means this: you must use all your creative gifts of imagination, intuition, and choice to counterbalance our instinctive response to change. Your human instincts were designed and built into your mental makeup specifically to keep you safe. This is why motivatables have a hard time breaking out, okay? It accomplishes its objective by encouraging you to seek a comfort zone where nothing ever changes. Psychologically, your brain instinctively views growth and change as a threat and immediately encourages you to retreat to more comfortable activities. Why? That was just like, why is it so hard? This is why unproductive habits are so difficult to change. It is also why mediocrity is the norm and achievement is the exception. This is why when most people don't understand, like, I'm not trying to fluff you up or give you some level of like some BS when I talk about how much I admire what each and every one of you is doing. Like, this is not a joke. Like, what you're attempting to do, and if you decide to complete your process, you are going against the grain of your natural human instincts on a daily basis of fighting. That's why they say that inner critic, that inner conversation, that inner demon, right? So, of these daily choices, because your instinctive nature and this 2 million-year-old brain is designed for one thing and one thing alone: to keep you safe. It is not designed for your success. It is not designed for your happiness. If it was designed for your happiness, don't you think more people would be happy? They say ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance is poverty. You know, ignorance is intolerance. Ignorance is racism. Ignorance is all the things that most people don't realize that are going on because they're not paying attention, because their comfort zones are pushing them back because it's what keeps them safe. So it is important to seek an outside perspective to bring about the change, the kind of change that is sustainable for achievement and growth. This perspective can come from a mentor or group of people with like-minded interests from whom you choose to be accountable for your goals. The choice of accountability is usually the most significant choice anyone can make regarding their future achievement. How accountability works. In making the choice of accountability, it is important to understand the mechanics of how and why it works. You remember the simple formula of achievement: doing the right things consistently over a sustained period of time. To make the choice of accountability more effective, you must identify the right things. Okay. We call these KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay. On the call today, April said a different 3 words. You guys remember what she said? She said IPAs. Did you guys remember? So, all right, income producing activities. Same concept. What are the activities that you must be doing consistently in your business to become successful? Now, one of those, there are 2 things that are super important that are going to be key performance indicators or income producing activities: is exposures and eventually presentations. People need to know about secret. Now, whether or not that's warm market, cold market, or traction marketing, doesn't matter. You need people to show secret products to. Yes or yes? Yes. If your team is not showing people secret products and secret opportunity, you ain't building a business. So one of those key performance indicators is how many people are crossing the line from not knowing to knowing. Now, in the beginning, there are people you can take over the line. Eventually, you're going to have to find people to meet to take over the line. But you need to be consistently taking people over the line from not knowing to knowing in order to move the needle. Now, remember, out of 10 people who join your business, what percentage of them are going to be motivatable? Probably 9. And you can't get mad at them. You got to love them and work with them and encourage them and create an environment for them to win and not pressure them so far out of the business that they don't ever want to come back, right? So some of your best people will just sit incubating as your customers, and some people say, I have all these people, they're not doing anything. They're doing the most important thing. They're buying. My best customers are my team. All right. So, and that person that buys and buys and buys and buys, and then all of a sudden, 3 months later, they get fired from their job and they go, you know what? I should probably take that business serious. And they're going from motivatable to self-motivated. Or all of a sudden they have another kid, but because they aren't like crazy pushed around, So anyway, let me read the rest of this. Next steps. Achievement. Nope. I'm moving on from that. Now, there are 3 parts in the choice of accountability. 3 parts. Write these down. Number 1, making a commitment. When you strive for achievement, commitment takes on a whole different meaning. I've seen more commitments broken than commitments kept, and this seems to be average behavior amongst our society. High achievers, however, act differently. They develop what I call a winning behavior, and that foundation for winning behavior is keeping commitments. It is evident by their habit of always doing what they say they're going to do. Now, is it possible to always do what you say you're going to do every single day? No. I don't care how perfect you are going to mess up. The point is not to leave people in the mess, right? But when you choose the accountability to your goals, you must make a commitment to perform your income producing activities, or KPIs, key performance indicators, at a level that you can perform. And then you want to report on those weekly. So what we're going to be starting to do, and we're going to be doing a leadership training call, but we're also going to be starting here, it's 2021, stepping it up, is an accountability call. And what we mean by accountability is where you're going to be accountable towards your goals. I'm not going to give them to you. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. You're going to tell me what you're going to do. And you're going to report on it, and you're going to let us know. Here's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to follow up the next week and see, did you do what you said you were going to do? Now, and this is going to be a eye-opening experience for many of us, because this one thing right here, all of a sudden, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You say you're going to do something, you do it. You say you're going to do something, again, how do you build confidence? Successful attempts. So when you say you're going to do 5 presentations and you do 5, and you say you're going to do 5 and you do 5, and you say you're going to do 5 and you do 5, guess what you've got now? Confidence. And how do I move somebody from a motivatable to self-motivated? I've got to build their confidence. And confidence is built from successful attempts. But I have to create an environment where you're consistently attempting, and tell me what you're going to attempt so we can move through it. Now, number 2, these are the 3 parts of accountability. Number 1 is commitment. Number 2 is building confidence in your untapped potential. I just talked about that. I'm skipping ahead. Sorry. All right. And then number 3 is understanding that accountability is a choice. Accountability is a mature choice. Some say that accountability is a sign of weakness. These people try to achieve in private with a false sense of independence and pride. They may reason, I only need me. I can account for myself better than anyone. I've only known a few people who can do this on their own, and I would never recommend it. For all next level growth and every next level step I've made in my life, the choice of accountability played a major role. Most of us need outside perspective accountability to grow. And in most cases, no one can make the choice for you. Forced accountability will only produce temporary results. Choosing accountability is an effective choice because you can't hide behind your comfort zones. Accountability pushes you past those self-imposed limitations and into a lifestyle of achievement and growth. So I hope this makes sense to you guys. Is this making sense? Give me some nods. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell us number 3 again?
Number 3 is basically making a choice, choosing accountability, understanding that accountability is a choice. Accountability is not something you can force. So, and what do I mean by that? Inside of your business, if we go back here to my little screen, okay, the majority of people in your team, about 90% of them, are going to be what? Motivatables.
Motivated.
Okay. How and for how long? Forever. 10 years ago, I had a team of people. What percentage of them were motivatables? 9%. It's 2020. It's 2021. What percentage of my team is motivatables? Still the same. Because one of 2 things either happened. They either quit the business or they moved up. So that's it. But the new people came in, and the new people that came in, the majority of them were what? Motivatables, right? So I need to make sure that I have things that help support both of these groups of people, okay, that are inside of my team. Now, outside of that, I am not usually going to this group of people and trying to get them on an accountability call. You will scare the living daylights out of them. Right? But you guys, you're not new. This is not a new call. This is a leadership call. So if leadership is what you're after and ranking is what you're after, then choosing to be accountable to what you say you're going to do is your next level growth. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do because you're all independent contractors. You're all independent business owners. I cannot force any of you to do anything. It's one of the reasons why I have a huge amount of respect for the people that have built organizations in network marketing, because it's a volunteer business. All of you, none of you have to do anything. None of you had to show up today. All right. Now, if you need to be reminded of the bronze and above call by your bronze and above, you might want to check your category, right? So, but here's what starts to happen is I want us to have a system. And this is why it's so important to have a system-dependent business instead of a people-dependent business. So you can have your 90% of your team plugged into an environment where they can grow, where they can learn, where they can fail, where they can attempt, where they can read books, where they can experience our culture, where they can experience our community, where they can experience our love, where they can experience all the things that Secret has to offer that are going to improve the quality of their life. When you start hearing your team saying things, it's not even how much I'm making, it's who I'm becoming. That's when you know you got the culture moving correctly. Because the majority of the people who ever join your business, it's not that they don't have the capacity to go make huge amounts of money, is that most of them are going to stay stuck in their comfort zone. And that's why when I talk about what are my goals, just so you guys know, So Crown Royale is a pretty incredible accomplishment, and it's took, and I'm so grateful for it. But the goal that I'm much more excited about? I'm excited about creating 100,000 Royales in the organization in 2021. Because Royale is about $1,000 a month. I want to have 100,000 people make an extra 1,000 a month. Now I know some of those people will make 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 a month and more. But what I want to do is I want to see more people move out of not possible to possible. Helping someone go from 10,000 to $20,000 a month, I don't really care that much. I mean, honestly, like I know those of you that make 10 grand in secret, like I love you, but you already gotten there. You've done something. It's a win. Now the question is, are you going to stay the path? Are you going to stay consistent? Are you going to learn the leadership lessons to get through the next level? But most of you, if you got to 10 grand, you're self-motivated. That's not the thing that jazzes me up. What jazzes me up is watching people go from motivatable, I don't know I can do this. I don't think this is going to happen for me. Is this going to be possible? And then what we're going to do is we're going to create an environment for those people to win, for those people to grow, for those people to be successful. That's the stuff that's so like, I don't know about you. Maybe that doesn't get you fired up. That's the stuff that gets me fired up. Okay. So I just talked for a long time. 2021, baby. This is going to be a powerful, powerful year. So I'm going to circle back to where I started. Write this in your notes. Leadership. Okay. Leadership. A big portion of leadership is being resourceful. We need to get really resourceful. So, and what do I mean by that? Look, we had some challenges with the growing pains that Secret's been going through. Would you guys all agree with me? Yes. Right. So have I complained to any of you about it? No. I hit Crown Royale and I've been probably doing 18 hours a day of customer service. Now, am I complaining to you now? No. Guess what I'm doing as soon as when I get off this phone call? Customer service. Guess how many calls I have to make customer service. And here's the thing. And people saying, how do we do this? And guess what? I don't know. But what am I going to do? I am going to get creative. I'm going to get resourceful. I'm going to solve the problem. So I want you to write this in your notes. I eat problems for breakfast. All right. I want you to be the greatest problem solver, solution-oriented leader that's ever existed. Now, when you don't know what to do, here's the question you ask yourself. If I did know what to do, what would I do? If I did know what to do, what would I do? Now, there's a pretty popular faith out there, Christianity. I don't know if you've heard about it. So a lot of people know this guy named Jesus. He's probably one of the best network marketers of all time. He went 12 wide and real deep. I don't know if you guys know. One quit along the way, but we won't talk about that. But when it comes to building an organization, he built a pretty darn big organization of people who believe in something, right? Now, the reason why I'm bringing up the kind of this concept of being kind of solution oriented is they created bands. I don't know if you guys remember, that was WWJD. Do you guys remember that? And the question was, what would Jesus do? And what it was trying to get people to do is to think for themselves, is to what would somebody do in this scenario that I can have a guiding light and a guiding direction, instead of being a follower, being a leader in that community, being a leader of my life. So I'm going to ask you to be a leader of your secret business. If you're passing your problems on to somebody else, generally speaking, that's the person making the money. It's when you're taking on those responsibilities. Now, does that mean you're going to be able to solve every challenge? No, because every level is a different devil. And some of the things you'll have to learn how to do it. So WWJD, Carla, you're cute. What would Jesse do? That is funny. Please do not put me anywhere close to the vicinity of a Jesus. That's not even cute or fair or funny. But what I would say is this. I do think about those things when I'm stuck in a situation where I don't know what to do. I think to myself, what would Mazaffer do? And what I found out is, I asked the question, what would Ruth do? What would Trish do in this situation? And instead of calling Trish to ask Trish what to do, I think, what would Trish do? And then I go do that. I ask, what would Ruth do? And then I go do that. And then my goal is to go attempt. That's what leaders do. They're going to go attempt. And I'm asking each and every one of you is how to attempt. right? So attempt to build, attempt to grow, attempt to solve, attempt to call, attempt to whatever. Most of the time people are bringing me challenges, and you know what I say? I say, hey, I got it. And when they bring me the challenge, do I have any idea how I'm going to solve the problem? No flipping clue. No flipping clue. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go figure it out. And then that's where my growth comes into it. Now, I've got a whole little set of challenges going on in terms of our business and our world, and you have them in your business. Your problems and challenges are as significant to you weighted as mine are in my world. They're just a different space. But what's going to get you to that next level and that next level growth is choosing to go, I am going to be responsible for anything and everything that I possibly can inside of my business. And then going, okay, if I was 100% responsible for everything that's going to happen in my business, because that's going to be thinking like a CEO. You are the chief executive officer of your life. You are the CEO. It's you. Okay. And we have an opportunity to grow this together and learn from each other. But what I want to see is this. We need more of you guys moving into this category. Many of you are in self-motivated category right now. We need more of you moving into this mentor category, because this organization is going to explode this year. And what's exciting is having you guys step up. And I can tell you, there are so many of you that have been working tirelessly since your time here in Secret, to some of our diamonds here in the organization, to Leah Johns, who has basically developed a country and a territory and an organization, you know, from Canada and all over, to, Carrie Joe, who really was founded from the very beginning of the organization from 7.2 and now into Secret and leading that organization, to Mike Zanardelli, who I know who's on here, which, you know, really without that leadership and none of us have any idea of the fights that they fought and the challenges that they overcome. And everybody sees the end results of what it takes to get to diamond. But most people aren't willing to go through that process. I'm asking you to embrace the suck. Right. And go through it. I was with Isaac last night doing customer service things at 11 p.m. last night. And I went over to his house and I was like, whoa, Mondays are tough. He was like, yeah, I know. I said, but what we're doing is this, going, okay, you know what all of they're doing? How can we fix this? How can we fix that? How can we do this? I'm going to ask you guys to be bigger than you've ever been this year, and to choose growth this year, to choose accountability this year. Okay. So, and there is, you know, two people here that are on the line that I don't even know how to thank them for who they've been in my world and who they've been in my life over the course of this last year and a bit. So Ruth and Trish, Team Truth, hashtag Team Truth. You guys are just unbelievable. I am just so grateful to call you friends. And I know in the very beginning of the business, as you guys know, last year, the business that has become Crown Royale inside of Secret is not my business. It's actually my mom's business. And so if you see Mac Savage, Macpherson is my last name. Savage is my mom's last name. So when you see Mac Savage Incorporated, that's my mom and I's business. And so this is a promotion for Mac Savage. And I feel like, you know, over the course of this last year, I might have physically lost my mom, but I gained a whole lot of moms here. You guys have been taking care of me and supporting me and loving on me and encouraging me. And you guys have lifted me up, and I truly stand on the shoulder of giants here inside of this organization. Now, I'm going to ask that as we build this, as we grow this, that we give ourselves the patience, the time to be able to grow into the leaders that I know you're meant to be. I am not as excited as I am about where we are right now. What gets me so juiced is this group of people choosing accountability, where we're all going to be in 5 years from now if we stay together. Do you have any idea what that's going to look like? Oh my Lord, the leadership. And I want to give you a vision for me. Like for me, what I've always visioned, every single one of you in 5 years from now can easily be blue diamond plus, you know, let's just call it $20,000, $250,000 a year, easily. Okay. The things that you need to make a difference in the world is you need leadership, you need money, and you need people. If this group of people, the 40 people on this call, are all making $250,000 a year more plus, and all of a sudden this group of people says, hey, we want to make a difference in Chile. and all of us have extra money, extra resources, and a team of people that's willing to volunteer, do you realize that we can just point this community, this wealthy global community that's committed to serving the world and anything, and we can go change the world? Like, this isn't a joke when Isaac talks about building a wealthy global community. This is happening. And you guys are going to be a part of this. And I hope that you stay for the ride. Now, does it mean the ride has some turbulence in it? You better believe it. But I hope that you guys will take on the challenge, because that's what we need more than anything. So I just love you guys. I'm so grateful for everything that you guys have done to pour into this. And this year is going to be a year for many of you that I know you'll look back on and go, wow, 2020 was a preparation year for the momentum that's truly deserved. So does anybody have any questions, concern, criticism? I'll take it all, feedback, or anything that you want to say here before we wrap up our longest bronze and above call of the year. We'll obviously keep these shorter to roughly around 30, 40 minutes or so. And for those that are new to the call, I promise you, we will recognize you, but I don't want to recognize you at the end of an hour. I want to recognize you next Tuesday on the beginning of the call, because we're going to have a lot more people that are going to be popping on our bronze and above call. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have 1,000 people on our bronze and above call. And then we're going to have the platinum and above call. And then we're going to have the diamond and above call. And then what I'm excited about is when we have our crown royale and above call. And that's going to be all of these 40 people that helped us build this amazing legacy together. So anybody have anything they want to add, say, contribute before we close out today?
Thank you.
Jesse, you did an awesome job on the corporate call. Thank you. And this was a great call too. Congrats to you. You're doing you're a great mentor and leader.
Thank you so much, Genevieve. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse. It was a fantastic first call of the year.
So I am recording this, and we are going to keep this locked in a vault somewhere, but if you would like the replay of this, I will put it up as a unlisted private link on my YouTube channel to make it available. If you do have a bronze and above that really needed to hear this conversation today and weren't able to make it on live, let me know so we can have that. I ask that you please respect the process of this call. If you share this with people outside of the bronze and above, you break the it's not just you break the trust. The challenge is that some people aren't ready to hear things at certain times. Like, you don't feed steak to babies, they die, right? So some people need to be at a certain level. And just so you guys know, the bronze and above, when you get to the platinum and above call, it's a different call too. When you get to the diamond and above call, oh my gosh, a different call. By the way, when you get into the cabinet, just be prepared. Like, Isaac's really nice, but he's also Israeli. Like, he can go full Israeli on you, and it's scary. I just want you to know. I think the first time he did it to me, I cried. But because the standard of excellence that's required for the game that these guys are looking to play is so big. So it's time for us to raise our standards. And I don't need you to make huge leaps. I just want you to make incremental steps and get there. So we'll get you guys the replay for those of you guys that want it. Please reach out, and we'll see you guys on the presentations every day. We got our live overviews going on every single day. And then we'll be back here next Tuesday to recognize our newest bronzes and above that are getting promoted. So let's create some more ranks this week. And we got the mirror promotion. We got the 10-day reset. And we're going to be launching after the 10-day reset, we're going to be launching a larger challenge group for everybody that really wants to be on a health program like we did back in the day, of a group and fitness and challenges and meal plans and programs that we can all collaborate on and build together. So customers and agents will be able to participate with that as well. I'm putting that together in the background. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jesse.